Hey y'all, welcome to Simply Blossoming Tarot. I'm Gigi and this is my channel. Welcome in. I feel like, so this is gonna be a chit chat video. I don't want to make it long because I do want to do at least 2 readings for the night and slowly but surely get things done, okay? But hopefully you guys are doing well. We had this eclipse energy come through. All right, it's a lot of new fresh energy. I feel that it's been very positive. But everything is different for everyone, you know. But hope you guys are doing well. I wanted to make this video in lieu of the information that just hit, well, I guess you could say the spiritual community or the astrology community. I really don't group myself up with it because what I do, I come from a spiritual background that is like based on a Christian foundation, okay? Even though I've been exposed to a lot of different foundations, and the way that I eat or the way that I grew up, like what I was taught to eat, like how I was taught to eat, I don't know why I can't get my words out, is what, anyway, in alignment with like a religious background, okay? So thanks to my mom, who is a Sagittarius rising, we have been exposed to a lot of different religions and spirituality and things like that, and she just wanted us to understand that it is important to have a personal relationship with God, okay? So I have talked about this on my channel time and time again. I know we're small, and I'm very grateful and thankful for that, because it is not about being some super big influencer. It is not. It's about community and connecting and sharing your light with who you're supposed to. You know what I mean? So, I guess I could just say it. I don't know why I have this energy of like, ooh, I don't know. But okay, so we're talking about fear-based narratives, conspiracy theory, the spiritual community, Hotep, all of that type of energy that is grouped up with the spiritual community, but to me it is not, okay? There, on the Hotep side, there are a lot of very toxic practices that go on, even down to what I've heard of trigger warning, sexual abuse within spiritual gurus who are males, going about a polyamorous lifestyle. And there's a lot of things, cult like energy, there's a lot of things that you can get lost in and tied up in when it comes to the spiritual community. So you have to have discernment, and you have to use your intuition while being in the community or being in the space, or what you call the spiritual community, right? I have always talked about on this channel to turn off people who are sitting there screaming about fear-based narratives. The sky is falling, the apocalypse is coming, doomsday narratives, the sky is falling, this is a conspiracy, this that, right? Oh, the celebrity community is this, that, the celebrity community is doing this, it's a conspiracy, it's a cover-up, all these things, which that could be possibly true. But we have seen certain celebrities fall. We've seen certain celebrities go to prison for what they're doing. We've seen literal, reputable court cases, people getting their day in court and everything, the due process and all of that, and having a guilty verdict, right? Celebrities aren't untouchable. So like this whole, it's a conspiracy, it's this, it's that, it's that, it's that. Them, like what's called say, them alphabet boys be on them. They be all up on them and through them. Okay, so just like we're seeing with Diddy right now, just because people are celebrities and they have money, it does not mean that they're untouchable, right? So creating all of these conspiracy theories and creating all of these fear-based narratives and the government and this, that, and my thing is, trust me, if there was some top secret government information, the guy with the camera yelling on YouTube is probably not going to know shit about it, you know? But I'm just saying this, use your spiritual discernment, because I didn't know anything about this young lady's platform, but I know she was like West Coast based, and she was very popular and successful astrologer. I want to say on Twitter. Like I don't really know all of her platforms, but she basically, before the eclipse, she started posting anti-Semitic information. This just the what is it called, the fake news or whatever. But she started posting anti-Semitic post. It was something else, conspiracy theories, the whole like Trumpy type stuff, right? And then, that's what it was. And then she started talking about the apocalypse. And she was saying that, when the eclipse happened, you're going to have to choose your side. You're going to have to choose your side and all these things, right? So that was one thing. And I'll continue the story in a second. There was another woman who was like very Christian based. And this is what I'm saying. I want to speak on this in a very balanced way, like in an unbiased way. So she was on the spiritual side, the astrologer. And the woman that I'm getting ready to talk about, she's on the Christian side. Literally, historically crying on online, saying that there was going to be a mass attack in Dallas or something like that. Just crying due to the eclipse and all of these things. I was talking to my mom and I said, it really reminds me, because I really chuck up a lot of stuff to my art history degree, because it really gives you a span. Like you're studying art and paintings or whatever, but you're really studying the frame of time, what was happening, right? So the gender norms, what a woman was doing at the time, what was acceptable for a woman to do, what was acceptable for a man to do, what a man was doing at the time, the fashion at the time, the war at the time, who was president at the time, what was the politics, like all of these things. So it really, and then what art forms, was, or art mediums was popular in that time, what art movement happened at that time. So it really didn't just cover, this is an artist, this is what this was about, because a lot of artists have always used their art for like protests, right? Picasso, he painted Guernica. Guernica was about a war. I always use it as an example. But who was that? Frida Kahlo's husband, he did a whole mural, and that was about they had interesting political views, but it was from a political standpoint. So a lot of times artists are speaking through their art about what their stance is politically, or what their stance is with what's going on in the world, right? Like even, for example, for musicians, Woodstock was a concert. Janis Joplin was there, Carlos Santana was there, Jimi Hendrix was there, right? And basically they were like promoting peace. They were in protest of the Vietnam War. So artists have always used their art and their mediums to kind of, rebel in a way or whatever. But anyway, the thing that I'm trying to say is, okay, because I could go round and round and round. This woman, she was Christian and hysterically crying, all these things, right? Talking about all this is going to happen due to the eclipse and all this stuff, right? I feel like we're taking a step back into the times that I was saying that I studied, right? Like the 1300s, 1500s, when people didn't have a lot of education and knowledge, until we had like the Age of Enlightenment, or I think there also was the Age of Reasoning or something like that. where there's always a shift to more like, okay, well, we're not believing in the woo-woo stuff because we're going to look at things from a more scientific way, right? The Enlightenment was about stepping into like faith and all of these things, right? But the thing here is that I feel like as a collective, as a human species, we're kind of digressing when it comes to being able to, I don't know, process information, being able to see, and Trump did a number on us in the United States, but to be able to see like what's real and what's not, what's reality. And a lot of people are experiencing mental psychosis and schizophrenia and things like that because they are unrooted, they're ungrounded. They don't know what's real, they don't know what's fake, they don't know who's real, they don't know who to trust, they don't know, and all that is like you are really needing safety, and you're needing to tell yourself that, I mean, of course, this is just a start, but you're needing to tell yourself and know that you are safe, right? One, that you're safe. Nobody is against you. Nobody is trying to attack you. Nobody is, all that. And then but the thing is, you have to get your mind off of these fear-based narratives. Even if you're watching like negative tarot, gossip on you, evil eye, and we do it, whatever, because it's entertainment, and it is, right? But getting carried away on that conspiracy theory. I remember when it was a conspiracy theory about something, and I went and clicked on it. This guy was like super popular. I cannot think of his name. Child, I think they put him in jail. But, and I'm starting to understand why, because the ramifications and the consequences of these people spewing conspiracy theories, things they don't have fact about, things they don't have, and getting people, it's like very sensationalized. They don't have proof of what's going on, right? And I'm not saying, oh, go believe the news, go believe everything. I'm not saying that the government is perfect or to trust everybody. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is, yes, use your discernment. Use your intuition. Pray to God. Know that you are covered, and have faith that God is going before you. He's going behind you. He's to the side of you, above you, below you. And that's the thing. When you're operating all this energy, even if doomsday was to come, right? The Bible says no man will know the day or the hour. Literally. So the fact that you have computed a day in your mind basically makes it null and void that is the day, because no man will know the day or the time or the hour. So, and I feel like a lot of this stuff is like very ego, like people just wanting to be like, oh, I know this information that you don't know. And I was telling my mom, I was like I tweeted and I said, oh, and I'm just literally like, oh my God, my tweets are just kind of, my dreams are picking up, all this, whatever. I had a dream about the earthquake in New York like 2 weeks before it happened. But I didn't operate in a sense of hysteria. You know what I'm saying? A lot of things that I talk about, they come to pass, but I'm not in this state of fear, because you have to be grounded in understanding that like there is a God. Like, for real, I'm not going to operate as if I'm a person who is unprotected or a person who has to live in fear. It says in the Bible 365 times, and that's crazy because it's 365 days a year. 365 times in the Bible, do not fear. Do not fear. I don't care. I don't care if somebody's talking shit to me. I don't care if somebody's trying to create some fear-based ass narrative. I don't care if somebody want me to fear them. I'm not. Just because my God and my Creator told me not to. So why would I listen to some measly ass human versus my Creator? He said it for a reason, right? He also said, don't worry. To worry is to be an unbeliever. Right? And to be an unbeliever is to lack faith. So, I do my tarot, and I know astrology and all these things, but it is really about staying grounded and rooted, and knowing, like, not being totally removed and detached from, like, literally that there is a God. I think that some people go so far to, like, I study astrology, but astrology isn't my God. Okay? I watch YouTube tarot. I do tarot. It is not my God, right? And tarot is very interpretive. It's to me, it's almost like you know how somebody can paint an abstract painting and somebody can say, well, this is the energy that I get off of it, or this is the story that I get off of it. It's not one way to read tarot. It's not, you know what I mean? It's just, it's and it really does help you in terms of developing, like, it's a good writing tool. Some people have used the tarot deck to create stories and stuff like that, like, and it is a lot of the basic storylines is like in movies and things is of the Fool card. Someone starting out new, taking a leap of faith, moving into another town. Oh my God, they meet the guy, they get married, they have the kid, the whatever, you know what I mean? Or the Hermit, somebody who's going on a spiritual journey by themselves. That's the Eat, Pray, Love. Eat, Pray, Love is the Hermit card. You know what I mean? So, like, it could be used in many different ways. It's not just like, oh, you know, demonic, oh, whatever. And things can be used in a very creative way as well. But anyway, saying all this to say this, that the astrologer that I was talking about, so she was tweeting all these fear-based narratives before the eclipse in Aries, and she kept saying that you have to pick a side, choose a side, pick a side, and all this stuff. And then unalived her husband, or her partner at the time, tried to unalive both of her kids and herself. And I know, trigger warning, but I think the daughter is fighting through or survived or something like that. And to me, this is just an example of why we should not, I really feel like all disinformation needs to be removed from the internet. I feel that it is okay to have an opinion. I'm not a person who's like for someone taking away somebody's freedom of speech or their opinion or whatever. But there are a lot of people online who are either trying to just get money. Right now, you can go viral and get money. So people are doing very outrageous things just for attention. Attention is a form of currency right now, you know, as we're seeing in society. And it's I mean, it could be a good thing or bad thing, whatever. But a lot of people are doing a lot of things just to get the money, okay? So what I'm saying is a lot of people are doing things for the money, but they don't care about other people's psyche. They don't care about other people's mental health. They don't care about the damage that they're causing to others by spewing all of these conspiracy theories and these fear-based narratives and doomsday and apocalypse and all this stuff. I was telling my mama they was screaming about damn doomsday and apocalypse in the 1970s during like the Woodstock era, right? I feel like we're kind of there again with the psychedelics and the people kind of going wayward or whatever, because the world was it was a lot going on. But I feel like every age that we come into, there is hardship, or you want to talk about the Great Depression or whatever, there is we as humans, we go through a lot of hardship. It's just a part of being on Earth, right? The Earth is dynamic and it's changing, and you know, it is living in a sense of it's earthly. So when we talk about things of the earth and of the flesh, like, things age, you know, like how we're losing a lot of our forests, how we're losing a lot of our forests. Maybe I said that, forest. How the glaciers are just melting, right? The earth within itself is like a living organism, but it is aging just like we are aging every day, you know. Things change. There's war, there's peace. The Bible tells you there's a time for everything under the sun. It's a time for celebration. It's a time for sorrow. It's a time for war. It's a time for peace. It's a time for morning. It's a time for night. It's a time for everything, you know. And that is tied up, or a part of this human journey that we're here partaking in, right? So I feel like, yes, as a society, we are going through a lot at this time. So we see a lot of people going through a lot of mental health issues. We see a lot of people trying to lean on spirituality or lean on religion. And really, I feel like right now, each and every person, I was thinking about this even before I talked about this, because I feel there's so many things I'd be trying to talk about. But right now it's important for you to get in alignment with you and to get in alignment with source and really sit down and map out and ask yourself every day, what do I need? How do I feel? Whether you're journaling or thinking it to yourself or whatever, what do I need? You know, did I work out today? And then also making sure that we're taking care of the mind, body, soul, and spirit, and knowing that all of these things are connected, okay? Understanding, I feel that the mind and the spirit is very, eventually whatever you're taking into the mind, it seeps into the spirit, okay? And it kind of happens rather quickly. So that's what I'm saying. When you see somebody online, okay, spewing out all of this negative energy, and for me, I have to watch it, because I'll be like, I'll be kind of like doing my investigation, like, you know, trying to figure out, because for me, before I support you or whatever, like, I want to make sure that I want to see what you're about. So like, I don't want to just write you off like within the first second or whatever, you know. But now I am to the point to where I am done with a lot of these people who have spiritual platforms that are just outright weird and who are unsupportive of other people, I guess, in the spiritual community, or other people who are we are all different and we all have different gifts. But you see what I'm saying? People who they think that, like, you know, oh, you're trying to take my place and all that stuff. Nobody's trying to fucking do that, okay? But the thing is just that you have to watch what you let through your gates, your spiritual gates, your eye gate, your mouth gate, your ear gate, your front gate, and your back gate these days, okay? And the energy that people are using to send that out. So no, technically, cell phones and the internet doesn't have, it's not a living, breathing, like human flesh thing, but it does have energy. It does have energy, and what you're taking in. But even before that, like the books that people used to read, or the radio stations that people used to listen to, or the music that people used to listen to, or the theater plays that people used to watch back in the day. It's the same thing. You just have to watch what you are exposed to. You need to watch what your children are being exposed to. And right now, it's so much online. It's so much online. You can click and have anything at the bottom of at your damn fingertips, right? And you can fall into these wormholes and rabbit holes, and it's just like, take a step back. And I feel like that moving forward, there's gonna be a lot of people who choose to totally disconnect from the internet because they feel like, and that's another thing, we don't know the latent effects of the internet, because the internet is still new. Okay, in the 90s we didn't have that. I didn't grow up as a child on an iPad or a cell phone or whatever. We had that slow ass beep, 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 dial up with the little AOL man running across the thing, and you be on MySpace for like maybe 30 minutes and then you get off, you know. And then Facebook came through and all that stuff, which I don't like Facebook at all. That, to me, that's where it started. In terms of violence being spewed all over the internet and seeing inappropriate things and all that stuff. So I think I've talked about it on the channel before, maybe back in the day. I lost my older brother due to gun violence. Okay, so I'm not trying to see somebody be unalived and bleeding and I'm just literally scrolling on my Facebook page. That's not something I'm trying to see. You know what I mean? So, and you report it and they still keep showing that type of stuff to you. So to me, that's like, no, whoever is behind it, the machine or whatever, you're wanting someone to take in this type of content. And so with me, Aquarius, I'm in protest. Okay, I just totally got off of it. I don't use Facebook even to this day. If I go in to like get a picture or whatever, it'll still be crazy. Somebody fighting, somebody hurting their spouse and all this stuff. We don't need to see that. And then with this being in the news, it's like, well, you wonder why certain things is happening and what people are being exposed to, right? So no, the internet is not a living, breathing thing, but it holds an energy. Everything, what I'm saying holds an energy, right? Hopefully of love and light, because what I'm saying is, I feel is positive and it's just a reminder, you know, it's to help people for real. People literally wake up, roll over, and get online and say all kind of shit. Okay? All kind of shit. And it's okay to have an opinion. That's fine and great and dandy. But I also think that people just aren't thinking things through, right? And I think that people love attention. I think that people love a big following. I think people love to be praised and all these things. And, you know, it's just, it is what it is. But this was just a reminder, you know, that take your mental health serious. That's all I was saying. Every single day, check in with yourself. See how you feel. Today, what my thing is that when I'm always a person, I'm like, oh, I feel like I gotta get to do my readings, or because I really do enjoy doing this, right? Or I gotta do a video or whatever, because I feel like this is my service in some sort of way, right? Well, I wake up, go to do my workout. And in my workout, I'm like, oh, like in my head, I'm like, oh, this is what I got to do. I got to do this. I got to get to the grocery store. I have a to-do list. I have a this. I have a that. And I caught myself in my workout and I was like, I was like, I'm not rushing. I'm going to enjoy my workout, which I did. Like, I literally enjoy, and I love working out outside. So we had some rain come down. So there were like little ducks and stuff, like in the kind of collected water and made a pond. There was ducks and turtles and, you know, flowers and butterflies and all these things. And I just really took in all of that, all of the beauty in nature. Instead of like rushing, and it just really just like calmed my nervous system down. Like, it's okay, let me enjoy, right? And then when I went and did my to-do list, I did what I had to do. Took my time. I had lunch, took my time with that. Came home, had conversations and caught up with people. Then I came here, started doing this, and I'm taking my time with this. And I even wrote down what I wanted to say and everything before. And so you just take time to yourself every single day to make sure that you're okay, right? I have been feeling burnt out on social media. I feel like, but I try to keep posting positive things or expressing or whatever, right? Because I've had so many people tell me that you've really helped me. I'm talking about just, I don't even know how. Like, I don't even know how I'm doing it. You know what I mean? But people have just told me that, like, man, you've really been a light. You've been a light in my life. You know, just what you talk about, what you say, what you post, what you da-da-da. And I feel like it's not enough of that. It's enough of motherfuckers online talking shit. It's enough of motherfuckers online talking about conspiracy theories and all of this fucking doom and gloom and how to be hopeless and the sky is falling. We are already fucking stressed. People are already stressed. We are already trying to make our damn bills and ends meet. Family going left and right, up, down, center. Everybody have their problems. Everybody have their issues. People's going through mental health crisis because they can't even go through any process of self-love or self-help or self-whatever because they can't even help themselves in the beginning, talking negative about people, about how much money they have and all of this stuff, when it was probably a day when you didn't have a pot to piss in and a window to throw the motherfucker out of. You know what I mean? Being judgmental, and everything is about material, and everything is about rich, and all of this and this, that, and the third, right? And it's just like, people are dealing with enough. So, like, even if you have a platform, if you are a content creator on a micro or macro scale, just remember, like, the work that you're putting in, the content that you're producing and putting out, make sure that it is actually of help. Make sure that it is not sending people's already dysregulated nervous system into a more dysregulated state. Okay? A lot of people come on my channel and say, I fall asleep to your videos because I love the sound of your voice. It is so calming to me. It is so soothing to me. That's what I'm saying. Like, sometimes it's not even like, that's why I be telling people, like, I don't know what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what it is or how it is, but people are just like, you have such loving energy and such like soothing vibes. Just very soothing vibes. Even people who, like, come around me or whatever, they're always like, you're so chill, right? Now, lately, and it's funny because I'm really coming into an understanding, honey. But lately, I had got triggered, and I was like, and so that's what I'm saying. I've really gone through a state of being triggered, a state of healing the ego, a state of understanding like my purpose, what I'm here to do, and a state of, you can say whatever the fuck you want to say, you're gonna get ignored. You know what I'm saying? It's like understanding that a lot of stuff is distractions. A lot of people ain't even in their damn right mind. Like, a lot of people are trying to start confusing, are trying to trigger people, and these are people who are helping, healing in some sort of way, being a light in some sort of way. And I feel like I'm finally back into that energy. But this is why it's so important that, like, if you're doing your art, if you have your platform, whether it's spiritual or religious based or whatever, it's important to make sure that your narratives or whatever you're talking about, that your content is giving life for real, that it is inspiring people. And I know I had a little thing of like, so I'm an Aquarius. Like, fine, be inspired, but don't copycat me. Goddamn, change it up, motherfucker. Put a damn exclamation point on the end, not a period. I don't know. You need to do something. Me change it. Do a little something different. Don't be word for word and stuff. Okay, but or just being weird and looking at everything that somebody doing, but don't want to give them their props and but want to take credit on it. All that shit is weak. Okay, but make sure, but that goes into what I'm saying. That literally goes into what I'm saying, because if you are in the right energy, then you're doing shit in the right way. So I would never like go to somebody's stuff and just take all that shit and be talking about that's mine. And the thing is that it's because I understand what it took to sit there, whether you're writing that poem or you are creating a story or you writing that book or whatever it is, you creating that art, you posting on your YouTube channel. I know what the fuck it takes to build a business. I know what the fuck it takes to step out in courage and to show up for yourself. I know what it takes just to be able to put your work out there, to put yourself out there. You know what I'm saying? So in lieu of what we're talking about in terms of being positive and being a light for other people, okay, if you talk about that shit, then be about it then, right? So if you're talking about all this positivity and all this stuff, whatever, then you need to move in that, even in terms of like your creativity and what you're doing or whatever, because there are a lot of people out here who are doing things and they're not being paid for it. You know what I'm saying? They're not being compensated for it. They're not, but they are also in this economy trying to make ends meet, have kids' mouths to feed. You know what I'm saying? And my thing is, if you feeding your kid's mouth by taking out of somebody else's mouth, well then fuck you. And I don't care how you want to twist it. I don't care how you want to turn it. I don't care how you... Now you robbing Peter to fucking pay Paul. You see what I'm saying? So it's like when you know what it feels like to put your blood, sweat, and tears into something, or to really focus on making your skills better or whatever it is, right? Then you know that that's something that you shouldn't play with. That's something that you shouldn't, you know what I mean? But people who got to where they are in an easy way, or have somebody backing them, or coattail somebody, or whatever, they don't understand that. You know, they don't understand that, or they feel like, oh, I did that in the third, I can take from you. That don't mean, you know, whatever. But if we're talking about building content, or building your platform on content that is positive, that is actually of help, that is actually spreading love, that is actually spreading light, I want people to come across my content and my work and feel like, man, that really blessed me. Or like how y'all tell me, I fell asleep listening to, you know, your reading or whatever. That is very soothing and all that stuff. And so even for me, I've been like really grounding and focusing on, like, I want to make sure that the readings that I'm putting out, you know what I'm saying, that they are, I know we talk about love readings and all that stuff, and sometimes we could be dealing with somebody who's negative or whatever, but I don't want it to be, I always want it to be healing based, you know what I'm saying? I always want it to be healing based. But I just wanted to say this, y'all, be the light for real. And when you are the light, that's another thing that I'm learning. When you are the light, people will not like your ass, but you are protected because you are the light. Because source is working through you, and whoever source is working through is protected. You can try whatever the fuck you want to try. You can do whatever the fuck you want to do. People who operate in the energy of God's light, and who are positioned and who are purpose, your ass gonna be David and Goliath. And that literally, that's what it is, because God worked through David. Just a little bitty flat, you know. And then I feel like it was just such a like symbolism that Goliath was a big old giant, you know, because like people who they feel like bigger, they got an ego, they feel like they got, you get your ass took down just like anybody else, you know. And that's another thing of, you know, remaining humble in whatever you have going on, and not getting too big-headed, but at the same time being confident in who you are, and knowing that, like, you know, who you are, and knowing that you got it, because you also have to have confidence to be able to show up, you know. And that's another thing, people will attack your confidence. People don't like when you're confident. People don't like when you're expressive. People don't like when you popping your shit. But that's just a reflection of them, not you. I'm learning that too. Like, everybody's operating in their own perspective. But that's another reason why, like, I feel like we all have our own universe. Like, I'm in my own universe. You may be like, oh, I like her universe, right? I understand her universe. But you have your own universe, and how you grew up, and your perspective, and how you see life. But a lot of this information that we are retaining and taking in, it is skewing our perspective. And that's why we have all of these, what do you want to call it, race wars or political wars and all of these things, and the logarithm feeding you to see only one side of the conversation and not both, and a biased look at things and all these things, you know. I just, you know, it's a lot, y'all. So you have to protect your mental right now. And you know, and I said this, bro. I said on my Pluto and Aquarius video, I said, I think that this is going to, because Aquarius rules the internet, it rules fame, it rules like celebrity, and it does rule like spiritual, like cults and stuff like that. It rules the internet, it rules groups, community coming together, and friendships and stuff like that. But I said that the way that people are going to start taking in information and digesting information is going to change. Like, on the internet, that is going to change. And I think that Aquarius is a very thinking sign. We are very logical. We're not emotional. We don't go into the sensationalized shit. We do the research and we look at it and we pull out, what's logically going on here. And then also very spiritually in tune and using our intuition to also be able to see what's going on, right? I don't care what nobody's saying. Somebody who was there screaming about conspiracy theories, screaming to tell people to go spend was it my mom? I think it was my mom had came across some doomsday people. And she spoke. So I'm telling y'all, baby, my family, we do the work. It don't have to be, we don't have to have a camera. We don't have to tell people everything that we done, you know what I'm saying? And how many people that we've helped. But everybody in my bloodline, we help people. We help kids. We help the elderly. We help the hungry. We help people who come across us who just need to have that conversation. We help people who are grieving. I'm telling you, and it's just the way that God positions us. I'm telling you, I'll be doing work in line at TJ Maxx and in Ross, and people just coming to me talking, and we having these conversations and all this stuff. But it happened to my mama. She came across a couple, and when she first met them, she said they were like very frantic and all this stuff had fell all into that Trump conspiracy theory shit and was spending savings and all of this stuff. They have family, they have kids to take care of and shit like that. And these people online telling them go into your 401k, go into this and spend all your money and build a bunker and all of this bananas ass shit. Let me tell you something. If the apocalypse is coming, a bunker is not going to help you. If God wakes up and say, you know what, it's over for Earth, a bunker is not going to help you. And I feel like it may be a lack of understanding of who God is. And as humans, we can only understand God, right? In our small mind compared to him. But to think that you can outlive a apocalyptic event in terms of God by way of nature said it's over for everybody, that going down to Walmart and buying certain stuff and living in a tin can and being under the ground in the bunker and all of this stuff. Even rich people do it, but I mean, like, they have money to do it. Like, it doesn't hurt them as much as, just middle class or right under middle class family, trying to save their money. It is very detrimental to a lot of families, this shit. So and it's horrible for their mental health and their psyche. All right, and I'm not to just be rocked to sleep and act like there's no problems in the world. I'm not saying any of that. But what I'm saying is, don't take shit to the extreme when you and don't play with your psyche, because you have kids and a family to uphold, or even yourself, or parents that love you, or parents that may need you down the line, right? So, all of this fear narrative is just not okay. All right? And in order for your life to change, you have to believe before you see it. So, and that's the thing. That's another thing about faith. I'm going to go back to the couple. But that's another thing about faith. You have to believe in the unseen. Because everything in your life can be crumbling down. A lot of shit can be happening. A lot of things can be happening. This is the physical. The physical it can play an illusion and a trick on you. Okay? Even humans can play illusions and tricks on you or whatever. But a lot of things, people can dress up. That's what the magician card is about. It's about having all of the tools to look like something that you're really not. It's the magician. It's an illusion. It's a swipe of a card, the slide of a hand. Right? That's what I'm saying. The tarot, it really does break down a lot of things. Now, it ain't the end all be all, but in symbolism, it really does, and symbolism connected to life, it really does, right? A lot of people can manifest shit for themselves that God was like, oh, okay, well, that's a lesson. Because you should have surrendered and you should have had faith, and you see what I'm saying? People trying to, manifest love and trying to keep that man and trying to this, that, and the third, and trying to, and whole time, either that can either backfire, or it's just like you're delaying your own process. But the whole time, God has a life for you. God has a man for you. God has a business for you. God has a blessing for you with your name on it. You see what I'm saying? And I really do think that God wants us to be like children. How he says, you know, this is my children or whatever. Children are very playful, and they're not worrying about shit. You don't see no child in the corner, oh my God, the bills, the bills, the bills. Now, unless they are growing up in a home where they didn't have a childhood. And a lot of children who don't have a childhood and have to be adults early, but when they can take care of themselves, they have to start doing the healing work when it comes to their inner child. But for me personally, I'm just saying, for me personally, as a child, I was a child. I didn't have to worry about bills. I didn't have to worry about a roof over my head. I didn't have to worry about what my parents was, you know, where they was at, whatever. I grew up with both of my parents. Both of my parents loved me very dearly. I have been on the spoiled side, and I was talking about that too. A lot of people, look, can't nobody make me feel, I don't know, feel negative or whatever about my parents loving me and showing up for me. You know what I'm saying? Because people will try to talk down on people who they're like, oh, your parent, this, that, and the third, da, 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 da. I am grateful and thankful for how my life is, because, you know, I'm just very grateful and thankful for how my life is. But also being able to understand that, like, you need to, you know, get out there, do for yourself, all of that, you know, too. But I'm gonna go back to the couple, because y'all know how I do. So anyway, my mom had first came across the couple, and they were all frantic, and I'm telling y'all, that shit puts it makes folks' nerves bad. You a parent, you got kids to take care of, and your fucking nerves is bad because you think the sky's falling, and you need to get to Walmart, and you need to buy all the fucking tires, and you need to get gas cans, and you need to do all, and you need to. And here's the thing, y'all, I really am a pioneer woman. Like, you know how they say on what's it called, on Food Network, like, I know how to grow my own food. I grew up with my grandfather. I know how to skin a deer. I know how to take literal animal skin off of the damn meat. Like, I actually have these, like, life skills because we Creole country from Louisiana. My grandpa didn't have much. My grandpa used to, he used to go down to the swamp and get his own crawfish. And as a grown man, he said, I don't eat crawfish. Crawfish is a po man food. When we was po, we was out there in the mud getting crawfish. Not everybody eating crawfish, girl. I remember when crawfish was $2.99 a pound, and when the only time you could eat crawfish was when your Creole family put it in the damn backyard and had a crawfish boil. And the only people that I know that been eating crawfish since been eating crawfish is the Vietnamese. The Creoles and the Vietnamese. Okay? So, say what you want, whatever. But I actually know how to do all of that. My grandmother taught me how to garden. I know healing herbs and how to make, you know, stuff. And I made my own hair oil in my damn bathroom. Like, well, it's in my bathroom now, but it's a rosemary based oil. But I have my own damn hair oil. I know how to make things. I grow rosemary. I grow mint. You know, all this stuff. Like, I really do. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not against, like, if you want to be a survivalist or whatever. What I'm against is you can have life skills and be ready for situations, but you don't have to drive people fucking crazy. Because that's what's happening. People are going... When your mind goes into a state of, like, psychosis, you're going through a nervous breakdown. Your nervous system has had fucking enough. Literally. Fucking enough. Okay? So, these cell phones, all of the electricity that we are around now, everybody got a cell phone in their pocket. All this stuff we didn't grow up with. We didn't grow up with all of these different frequencies coming from different areas. And I do think that sitting outside in nature right now will really, really help us get back in tune, just to ground. And I know it sounds so basic, right? And eating like whole foods and natural foods and real foods and organic foods, because I feel like the human like body is freaking out because it's like it's not very grounded or tethered. We're looking at something that is like, it's not real. The internet is not real. You're seeing me, yes, and it's funny. I'm not gonna say what I'm gonna say, but it is time for us to start branching out into our local communities and to start making your world a little bit smaller, if that makes sense. Or like moving into smaller community, because I feel like being bombarded with so much information online is something that our nervous system wasn't built for. And I think that I think all of the mental health the mental health crisis and the psychosis and all these things that we're seeing is a lot from the internet and the overusage of the internet. Nobody else in the human timeline has taken in this much information that we are as humans right now. So we are still guinea pigs, even though we feel like, oh, the internet's been here, da 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 da. No, we are still guinea pigs. We don't know what the generation that has grown up on technology, what they're gonna look like, or what their families are gonna look like, or what is the latent effects of that. We don't know. But yeah, I'm not gonna get into that. I guess that's another video for another time. But y'all, take in things that are feeding you, right? You know how the Bible say a man can't live off just bread alone? I think that the reason why, I'm gonna go philosophy of religion on y'all. So when I was in my philosophy of religion class, we only had one question and we debated it every single day until the end of the semester. And it was, what religion is the right religion? All right. Well, I feel like my professor was biased because he was a priest and he said that it was Catholic. Okay. But he ain't tell us all that. But we knew he was something, right? Because, I mean, why would you be teaching a philosophy class, right, of religion? But we argued the whole time, debated intellectually what was the correct religion or the right religion, right? For him, it boiled down to Catholicism. That was his argument, you know. But we went through a whole bunch. We went through people who made their own religion. We went through Sufism, or was Sufism. We even went through young earth creationists, y'all. And I don't know if I ever said this. I feel like I've said it, but I don't know if I've ever said it on here. But I was sitting behind a guy and we were studying it, and I was like, oh my God, who would believe that he was a young earth creationist? And I was like, sir, I am so sorry. I was like, I am so sorry. And yeah, I mean, it went over smooth. It went over well. But, and what I liked about it, he was passionate. He was passionate about what he believed in and then how it made sense to him and everything. And they literally believe that the earth is super young and I think like 2,000 years old. So I don't know, compared to like what we know it to be. And they discount a lot of the scientific evidence of that the earth has been here for however long or whatever, right? But yeah, we sat there and we argued, what's what. And my thing is this. So I believe in God. I believe in a more Christian God, I guess you can say. And for me, I have like the Holy Bible app. That's where I've been doing it because I move around a lot. And child, my arm just got the itching, like right on my elbow. These damn mosquitoes. But anyway, so I've been using my Holy Bible app. But for me, I really do think, and I feel like that's what I'm saying. I'm like, I'm not saying that, But for me personally, I do think that the Bible is it is the living word, and I have talked about it here. And if you feel at this moment hopeless, just don't read the book of Revelation just yet, okay? But if you do, if you feel hopeless, or if you feel hopeless, or that the world is just a fucked up place and it's just shitty, and it's just, understand this, your perspective is what you bring in. I told my mom, even like with the eclipse and everything, my ass was, I'm not gonna say that. I have had very positive energy from this eclipse, and I feel like, and again, we got 6 months for all the energy to come through, right? But for me, it sparks like a lot of fresh new energy. A lot of fresh new energy. I really like that. And even understanding more of Aries energy. Excuse me. But for me, I feel like when I feel like I need wisdom, or I need guidance, or I need a little bit of light, the Bible do it for me, baby. Them scriptures, they do it for me. And I have like kind of took a step back from, I call it entertainment Christian, where like it's the pastor, it's all about the pastor and all this, no, I'm not into that. And I'm very watchful of what I take it, because a pastor could be like a negative guru as well. And there's a lot that happens in the church, and a lot of pastors are liars and crooks and snakes and all that. People who like a lot of attention and need a lot of attention, they ego, it's always something wrong with them, because why do you need all of these people to be up your butt and clapping and all this stuff, So you have to really find people who are just operating in their calling, and they're not there for all that shit. That they really there for what they're called for. Many are called, but few are chosen, for real. Okay? Find information. Like, I'm kind of spinning off of the Bible of, like how I said, man cannot just live off bread alone, meaning that you also have to feed your spirit. You can't, you need more than just food. You can eat food every day, and that's a whole nother video or conversation. But a person can eat 3 square meals a day and be depressed, right? Or feel like something is off in their life. Like, just because you eat every day don't mean that your life feels fulfilled. Just because you have money to buy everything in the world doesn't mean that you're gonna feel fulfilled. You know what I mean? So, like it says, man cannot live off bread alone. You need the word, the living word, in order to live. In order to really live, in order for your spirit to really be alive. There's a lot of people here who their spirit is not. That's what depression is. You just feel like you're just like lost or floating, or there is no life there. Nothing is lighting you up. Nothing is. Then people go into the alcoholism, and they go into sexaholic, and they go to what makes them feel alive. The word is the living word. You cannot just live off bread alone. Things of the flesh, things you put, you can eat, you can touch, taste, feel, smell. The bread. You just can't live off bread alone. You need the living word. So whatever that is for you, what I'm saying here on this platform, what I found for myself, like my philosophy of religion class, if we arguing it, the Bible has been very helpful for me. It could be for something else, you know, so whatever. But I'ma still be in this space. I'ma let motherfuckers know that too. I don't know, what I do and how I do it is just a little different. So be it. But I do think, like, there are some spiritualists who be like, okay, if you did that, then take your ass to church. I'm gonna do what I want to do. Okay, how about that? But, and people, it's just so funny how people just don't like your confidence. But I don't care, you know what I'm saying? I'm not here for that. But y'all, for real, turn off the fear narratives. Turn them off. Turn the hoteps off. Some of these hoteps don't even believe in going to the doctor, okay? Some of these hoteps don't believe in therapy. Y'all have to understand that people are not moving in the energy of wisdom, you know? And I hate to like just be throwing therapy out there, because a lot of people, they can't even have health insurance, and their health insurance doesn't cover therapy, you know. Everybody doesn't have the means and things like that, but that's what I feel like. If you have the means, you should for sure do that, you know. But yeah, and I'm starting to realize that there's a connection between people going through psychosis and conspiracy theories and fear narratives and doomsday and apocalyptic energy. You're telling your mind, which runs the perspective of your life and how you show up, and your cells that grow, like literally, like affirmation and all that stuff. You're telling your mind that, oh, all this is getting ready to end. What do you think that your body, especially your psyche, what do you think is going to follow that? Oh, well, we just going, you know, the body, your energy and your mind is going to be like, oh, well, we preparing for this, that, and the third, because what you didn't input or what you didn't told us is that this, that, and the third was getting ready to happen, that it's doomsday and this is about to happen and all. So, just, y'all, don't do it. You hear people getting all into that, and even in terms of like astrology and the eclipses, like that's nothing to be afraid of. We've had eclipses before, you know. It's not and that's what I'm saying. I feel like we're digressing intellectually as a species, because it reminds me of when people, like, you know how what was it, the Salem witch trials, they was burning up everybody, you know. It's like a hysteria. That's what it gives me. More so like hysteria of like, oh my God, hysteria. Like we don't have education. Like we don't have knowledge. Like we don't have wisdom. Like we don't have, like we literally just looking up at the sky, and we don't have books, and we don't have utensils, and we just got rocks and stones. Like, I don't know, you know, I don't know. It's almost as maybe we're progressing to the point to where now we're digressing. Drewski hands, cause look, shit, I don't know. But you do gotta watch that. You do have to watch that. You get off of all negative narratives, people screaming and hollering. Get off of the negative tarot content. Get off of it. Who gives a fuck what people who evil eyeing you feel? Who gives a fuck what your haters think? Who gives a fuck what your toxic ex think about you and where you going in your life? Who gives a fuck about the bitch who don't like you and who think you pretty privileged and who think you ain't worked for nothing and your life is just so easy, or that want your life, or that want you, whatever? Who gives a shit, right? Or who want to be like you, or who copying off of you, or fuck what them people think, period. Because I feel like that's what it is. I also think that's another thing, like, if it's not the fear narratives and the apocalyptic and the conspiracy theory, I think it's also thinking about, oh, well, what these people think, like what they thinking about me. Fuck them people and what the fuck they think, and they can leave on the horse they rode out and it came in on, or however the hell they say it, you know. Just people are weird on the internet. That's another thing. Like, people just be like, who gives a fuck, right? And that's the thing. I could be all love and light and all that stuff, but at the same time, it's just very realistic about negative energies. Like, just block it out. Block it out. And that's what I'm getting ready to do. Like, just in terms of, because for me, I be trying to like understand, like, okay, where's this person coming from, or what is this, or whatever. No, at this point, where we are, even just spiritually, it's just not worth it. You know, it's not worth it to be taking in negative energy from people who don't know you, who watching you online. And that's another thing. I think people are gonna start getting very private online. For me, like, I don't give a shit about the numbers. So I too feel like we're moving to the state, even for myself, of just being like more private online, period. But the only reason why I don't want to do that is because I feel like what I do in my content and who I am, you know, I feel that like it needs to be out there in a space of that's like so dark, you know. And I think that people want you. When you have the light, people want you to fail. People want you to shut up. People want you to fall off. People want you to just, act like a mouse and be quiet. And so for me, I'm also in protest. Like, nah, I ain't going no fucking where. I'm going to stay here. I'm going to do what it is that God called me to do and how he telling me to do it. And I don't really care who like it and who don't, or who feel like, you need to stay in your lane or whatever. I don't give a shit. Straight like that. So I feel like what I'm doing is helping the collective, not hindering the collective. Okay. So I just wanted to say this. Get out of this fear narrative, because it really, we have to protect our mind. We have to protect our hearts. We have to protect our spirits. And another thing is, like, when you are dealing with those like negative energies, it hardens you. When you're dealing with these negative narratives, it hardens you. It hardens your heart. And we're not supposed to be walking around in this energy of like, fuck everybody. You know what I mean? Or not letting the love in, or not letting people show up for you, or what, you know. So, but you also have to go through your own process and healing so you can be ready to do that, you know. But yeah, that's it. That's all I wanted to say. That's all I wanted to say, man. Sending y'all love and light. Peace. This was long.